All right, welcome back, everybody. So let's jump in real quick. Our journey so far. So remember again, we started this journey with starting with the basic foundation of IT in general for our starters, and we used the use case for home network just to make it easy to relate with. We said, okay, within our home network, all of us here, while you're joining tonight, you're probably in your home network, in your office, or in your residence, right? So we said, what are those things we should look out for in terms of security in our home network? And you all pulled together some big strategy. You said we should have good password, we should change password, default password, we should make sure we have multi-factor authentication, we should have guest, ID used. You gave me some. Then you said we should have a incident response plan in case there was an issue. We should put antivirus. So you gave me with came up with a lot of great ideas, right? Then we said, okay, at the end of the day, let's talk about some basic terms used in IT. Generally, we talk about, cloud computing, what is network, application, database, operating system. Fine. Then we sneaked into the core of cybersecurity and we said confidentiality, integrity, availability, then non-repudiation, right? I like some of a team last week came up with, they mapped their framework, they use CIA as a framework to map some threat controls, which I thought was clever. So then we went further to say within cyber, there are some key terms, areas that are very important. We talk about asset management. We have to figure out what asset do we have, right, to even track it. It's foundational, right? Then we talk about vulnerability management. Those assets we have, how do we track them for potential vulnerability? Then we talk about identity access management. All of this access, how do we really gain access into it? So we went into that also. Then we sneaked into threat intelligence. We said, internally, externally, how do we track for potential threats? So we talk about law enforcement internally using different tools, solution for tracking threat intelligence. Then we went further to talk about SIM. Then we sneaked into activities around incident response. We built some incident response plan for multiple locations, and we also mapped those incident response to NIST 861. Then we also sneaked into building policies and procedures, and map those policies and procedure into framework also. We also checked for gaps in policies and procedures. Then we went into also talk about NIST CSF 2.0. Then we talked about NIST 853 for privacy and security. We talked about NIST 861 for supply chain, NIST 830 for risk assessment. Then we went into ISO 27002 and then we did some mapping there. Then we went into um, risk assessment, and we did some risk assessment. You guys identified certain threats, and I thought that was one of the most beautiful exercises we've done. And going forward, I'll be using that model because that was just amazing. You guys narrowed down to a home network. You identified the threats, and you did a risk assessment. You can scale that to any environment. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing, really. The only difference is that now we're talking of big organization, or they might have more server, or they might have more application or cloud. It's the same thing. So we went into risk assessment. We also talked about third-party risk, and we, talked about vendor comparison. We did vendor assessment. We reviewed third-party risk management programs. We identified gaps in those programs. We also mapped TPRM programs to ISO framework also. Then we went into data privacy, data protection impact assessment, and data security. Last week we did a lab on data privacy impact assessment. We didn't do data protection impact assessment, which we're going to do tonight, and data security. Those two would do the practical tonight. And those will be the focus for us. Now, I've said a lot of things, but the truth is this. Every one of those items I just listed is a potential project. One thing we must do in our group is to always fall back to this question: how do we articulate this in an interview? That's why your use cases are Don't just tell me what you did, tell me the story behind it. And everything has a story, right? You have to tell me what's the story, what led to it. Why did we do a risk assessment? Why did we map, why was a privacy impact assessment needed? You know? So those are the things we need to really talk about because at the end of the day, we're all storytellers. That's it. Just tell me the story. How does it make sense? Then we can articulate it together. All right. So let's see. I'm surprised you guys did not call me out to. Oh, no wonder you would have called me out. I thought I was not recording. You guys, okay, I'm recording already. Good. All right. So that's where our journey has been in the last few days. Tonight, we would get into data protection impact assessment. Then we'll now do data security assessment also. Now, sometimes you might ask, why do we need to? Let me ask you. Let's brainstorm real quick, and let me see your thoughts. Let me let you chat. Let me just ask you what you think. So, if I was, tell me what you think. If I was concerned about the way data is captured in my organization, what would you recommend I do? Should I do a data privacy impact assessment? Do I do a data protection impact assessment? Or do I do a data security assessment? What do you think I should do? I'm concerned about privacy of data in my organization as a whole. What do you think I should consider? I agree. Yeah. So because it's really okay. I like I love this mix of thinking. Okay, somebody said data security assessment. Data security. Okay. Now don't forget, I set you up. I said I'm concerned about the privacy of my organization. I didn't say the security though, the privacy. So if I tell you I'm concerned about the privacy, then you have to tell me, hey, do a privacy impact assessment. If I told you I was concerned about the security, then data security assessment, security of my data. Because I can bet you, if we talk about it right now, if I ask you, what should we consider in security for your data? All of you will tell me access control for the data. You tell me encryption for the data. You probably tell me reviewing of access of the data. How do we archive the data? You start telling me stuff like that. That's the security angle, right? But for privacy, we are thinking in our mind, okay, how do we consent? How do we, at the end of the day, also, beside consenting, how is our data used? How is our data shared, right? How is our data archived? How is our data ultimately destroyed, right? So you're asking those kind of questions at that point in time because now we're talking of, okay, privacy. Okay, do I have a right to, ask you not to use my data? Excuse me. So, those would be things that we are thinking in our mind. Okay, thank you. So that okay, how are we gonna figure this out? Okay, let me ask another one. If somebody tells you, all right, we're about to do a research all over the world, COVID research study for vaccine or anything, flu, whatever research, but we're going to use an electronic data capture that will be capturing our subject or patient's information worldwide. So in order to do that, we would need, because it's a new solution we are bringing to an organization, right? In that case, we have to think about data protection assessment because now it's something that just came into the play, and we have to figure out a way to ensure we implement DPIA. So anything GDPR, European Union, they always mandate DPIA anyway. But this will be an indication that okay, you guys are about to capture data, then we have to have a data protection impact assessment because how do we ensure with this new solution you are bringing on board, we can protect the patient or the customer's record. So you see um, people mandating you to do that in that case, okay? But they are very similar in nature. Many times a DPIA is a subset of PIA. That's the reality, just a small part of PIA. So DPI is really a subset of the big PI, just streamline certain areas of it.